Okay, I think I missed the reply back. All right, so yeah, let me just give my services. Let me give this guy height. Let me give it what height could that be? 91 UH. So let's save and then let's see what we have. Fine. So now we already have our container here. This height now is, let me give that container background color so we're going to see the difference. Let me just give it the background color. Let me say background color is now golden rod. Now let's save it and then let's see. So yeah, this now the container now, the same thing that is happening here also, right? But no, it's not. I expect this one to take, okay. You know what the problem is. With 100%. I expect this container to take the same styling like this, but then I don't know what is wrong.
Is the width not supposed to be
Width is 80%.
80. This car service is 100, which is from here to here. But then the container should be the one that will have the 80%. So yeah, this is main container left. Okay, not that. Dot container width. Okay. Why is it 100%? I'm confused though. Really confused. This should be 100. Then this should be 80. Okay. I think that worked now. Yeah. Okay. Now I need to. Okay, so I think I made a mistake initially for my last code. The main should be the one for 100. I think I gave the main 80%, so that was why the whole stuff was, and then we gave the container 100. Now the container is having 80%, and then the parent of the container is having 100%. So this is the container 80%, and this is the parent in section, and it's having 100%. So now what we need to do is to position the container at the center of the screen, just at the center. So let's see what we can do. Let me make this guy 100 view height. So I need it to contain the whole screen. Contain the whole screen. Yeah. So now let me take the container to the center, justify content center, and then align items center. Now we save it, and then let's see what we have. Justify content center, align items center. Should work.
Didn't impute a display flex. That's why it didn't work.
Oh, what is wrong with today? Thank you, Jerry. All right, display flex. See, yeah, I'm proud of you guys. Okay, so now we have our container at the center. So what I'm trying to explain basically is the fact that I don't want us to be repeating ourselves every time. If you realize that, okay, I think I'm using this type of styling a couple of times, I'm using it like repeatedly, like in different places, I can just pick that styling, I'll pick it out, and then I'll declare it as a parent styling on its own. So that when I call it again in my HTML, when I use that container again, the same styling that I have for that initial styling, for that initial container, will be the same styling that we'll have for the next ones. So that's just basically, although the thing is, let me show you guys something. This particular CSS also, this car servicing, this one, height 100, width 80, and all of these things. It's possible that we are going to have it in like another place also. Let me see. Maybe we can have that same thing somewhere else. Like here, we have it. Here, we also have it. But this one is not 100 view height, while this one is 100 view height. Let's make it 100 view height. Let me show you what we are going to do now. Where is that header? All of these things is just logic. Let me make this one fixed. Display position, sorry. Position fixed. I believe we already know how fixed works, right? I just wanted to place that header there. I don't want it to like moving up and down. So now I'll now make it right. I'll just say width instead. No. What do we do about this? Trying to achieve something. I want to have this fixed, and then at the same time, I want to have it at the center. Who can tell me what to do, please? I need this header to be fixed. I don't want it to like leave the screen. And at the same time, I want the header to be at the center. So any suggestions? Maybe we can have 5 marks for someone. Any suggestions? Any suggestions? I cannot use padding left or all of those things. No. What can we do? What can we do? What can we do?
Sir,
Yes?
remove the margin auto, then give it flex of like right.
Flex of what?
Right.
You mean position?
Yeah.
Okay, like you can say 10%, right? Is that okay? Yeah, that does it. So there's no 5 mark. I'm joking for that one.
I'm not coming now.
So we have yeah, this is what we have. Now I want to make, why did I want to make this thing fixed? It's because I don't want it to leave the screen when I'm scrolling. I want our user to be able to see this every time they are scrolling. Anytime they are scrolling, even if they're at the bottom or the footer of our page, they can still easily have access to this thing. All right. But then looking at this, it's now giving me some kind weird behavior here because it doesn't have a color. There's no background color here. So I will now give it a background color. I'll say, is that I give it a background color? I give it, yeah, let's go with background color. Let's say white. Okay. Now let's save it. This may look red. So let's save it. Let's see how it looks like. Okay. Now this image is like forming. Okay, no, you can't just. But why this image is jumping on top is because this guy is a position of fixed, right? And then if you have a position of fixed, you need a Z index. Z index is used to arrange your display. Okay, I want this one to be on top of this one. So you apply Z index to different items, different code, so that okay, I want this one to get up this one. If you're using positioning does not really take a space. They don't really contain space. When you apply position, it allows any other thing to move around it or move it. So, but then if I want this movement to be at the bottom, I don't want this movement to be at the top of my header, then you have to apply a Z index for your header. That will be, Z index means, okay, I want it to be on top. Let's say, let's just give 50. Now let's say, okay, so now as you can see, now this particular what do they call it? This particular header now is now above, it's now on top of this image. Initially, the image was having, image naturally will have a Z index of about 10. That's natural. So if you did not apply Z index to your header, then the image would definitely be overriding the header because the header is having a position of fixed. So now we apply Z index to our header so that it can be above any other thing. In some cases, let's try something now. If I should give this container a Z index of 100, let's target our container and then say Z index 100. Now let's save it. Now you can see, because 100 is above 50, now our container is now covering our header. So that's how Z index works. The higher one will come above, while the lower one will go below. So, but we don't need this for this. We only need it for the header, so that the header is going to be above any other thing. Right now, I'm going to give this particular main this container, yeah, this main, I want to give this main, I want to give that main the same styling that I'm giving this section. The same styling that I'm giving this section is what I want to give my main also. Let's see how that works. I already styled my main. Where is it? Yeah, I already styled my main. But then I want to have a unique styling for anything that has to do with flex, justify, just same styling. This same styling is the same thing we have for our section, right? But then I don't want to be repeating myself every time. No, it does not make any sense. So first thing first, let me change this to 100. Because this thing is now, because this guy is now not taking any space. So our main can now take 100%. Because initially, this one was taking about 9 UI. That was why we had to give our main 91. But now, this is not taking any height. It's not taking any space. I mean, the header is not taking any space because it's not having a position of fixed. Now with that, we can now give our main a height of 100 so that it's going to like start from here. The main will now start from here. It will not start from after header anymore. It will start from at the behind header from here to here. So now that's what we are going to do. Let me save this and then let's see. Okay, fine. Now we have this. So what next do I need to do is copy this whole stuff. Let me just copy this whole thing. Or instead, I can just change this one. Let me make it what can I call it? What can I call it? Let's say parent component. Parent dot parent flex. All right. So I will remove this 100 auto flex center. Here we have background color. Yeah, let's forget about that. 100 flex center. This one does not need auto anymore. Okay, yeah, let's just leave it. So this is what I will do now. Remove all of this, just remove it. Save this. So I will now apply this particular styling, this parent flex. I will apply it to the class. I can have 2 classes for one HTML tag. So I will now apply this parent, what do I call it? Parent flex to this one, and then I'll copy it here. Now I'll go to my main also, give it a class, and then parent flex. Now let's save it. Let's see what we have. Okay, we still have the same thing. Do we? Sorry, I'm not sure we have the same thing. This class, oh no, sorry. Should be a class. Save. Let's see the styling. Save. There shouldn't be any background. Okay, the container is having its own background. All right, let's save. Okay, so now as you can see, the same thing is now happening. The same styling we gave to this main initially, right? It's now the same thing that we have for the section. But one thing is different from the section. There's one little thing that we did separately from the section because our main is having a background color of white. So we don't have to like style our main separately. While our section is having a background color of this thing, of something like ash or whatever. So now we need to like give our section the first styling, which is the parent flex. That will now take the styling of the global styling that will apply for the parent flex. And at the same time, we need a special styling for the section again, which has to do with the background, because we cannot apply background for that parent flex since this one does not have the same background as this one. So for that reason, we needed to add another. You can just do it this way. Let me just forget about this. Let me forget about this. I can just add another class to this. I can just call it car service. Car service. That means the styling that I pass to this and this one, both will apply to my section. Both styling will apply to my section. Just like this. Let me go down and then this should be a class. Now let's save it and let's see what we have. We still have the same thing. It's still the same thing. So now moving forward, now let's assume that, okay, our next design is also close to the same thing, like this one. It's also close to the same thing. So what we need to do, first thing, we create a section for this, right? Let's create a section. For the third one, let me just say section. And then I'll give that section an ID. This ID is just for me to be able to identify what I'm actually working with. So let me say car servicing section, right? Then this one will now be ID first. So I can identify easily. This one can now be, let's say get a code, or we follow a clear process to update. Let's just say get a code. Get a code section, right? Then to make it easy for me, since I also need a container here, right? I can just copy this one, copy this, or let me do it manually, dot like this, then container, and here I'll create a class, and then I'll pass parent flex to it. So then I'll save, and now let's see what we have. Let's see, it's still loading. See, now without any stressing, without like writing the code again, now the same styling I have for this one, for the main, I have it for the next section, which is the car servicing, and I also have the same thing for this one, which is the get a code. But the only reason that this one is not having any background is because we did not pass another styling to it to give it a background. But then we pass the parents to this, so that it's going to give us the flex, the display flex, justify content, item center, all of those things. And at that, this container is now being pushed to the center. And the same container that we use for our main is the same container that we use for our car servicing, and it's still the same thing that we use for our get export. So it's just me trying to componentize our styling to make it one, so that I can now repeat it. I don't want to like, okay, I will now copy the same thing, use it again, copy the same, use it again. It does not make any sense at all. So with this, your code, your styling is going to get faster, because okay, anytime you need this same thing, you just have to like, you can even just copy this one, bam, paste it under, and then change the ID, leave the parents, leave the container. So the only thing that you need to do is just to open this one and start writing your code. As simple as that. So I don't know if we're able to understand what I'm trying to say. If you have any questions, please, let's raise our hands. Let's raise our hand for questions. If you are confused anyway, let's raise our hands. Okay. There's no hand. I believe we all. Okay, George. Okay, that's number one. Any other person? Yeah, Elijah. Yeah, actually, I forgot. I missed that, but then it's now recorded. So okay. George first. Let's go with George first. George is the first person. Please ask your question, please, George.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning, boss.
I think I got a little bit confused in the main section. I understand the styling for the container, that if you style one container, it takes all.
Yeah.
Because we are just repeating it. So I understand that one. But when you change the main to parent flex, there's a little bit of mixed up. How does it, because I think the parent flex and the header, I think that's where I have a little bit of mix up there.
Okay.
So the header takes a fixed position.
Okay.
But how does it relate with the parent? Because I think you're a little bit too fast. The header parent
Okay.
flex.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let me take the second question if it's something related. So just add them together. Sammy Obama.
It's something related. I missed the beginning of the class, so I think it's asking the same question I want to ask.
Okay. Elijah.
Okay, please. I understand that once you do a change on a particular container, it affects all the containers. So my question is, if I want to style it differently am I going to make a reference to the ID, the different ID that we have placed on the different containers?
Okay, thank you. Well, if you want to style your container differently, you only have to like call the parent. Yeah, you can call get, since this one is the parent to this container, and you want to style this container differently, right? So you just have to like call this ID and then call the container, something like this. You only have to like call hash, let's say this, let's say this is the ID. I can't remember the ID, service ID, and then dot container. So this is what you do. If you want to style the container differently, maybe moving forward, maybe you realize that, okay, this container is not like the other container that we have been using, okay? So you can just call the parent with the ID. You can either call the parent with the ID. Yeah, it's best to call with the ID, because if you call with the section, that means you're calling all of the section. So you rather call with the ID of the parent and then now target the container itself, and then you can style your style however you want to style it. Is that clear, Elijah?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. So let me addressing the first two questions. Let me take it slow and then let me reverse. Let me bring us back. So initially, this main was not having any class. Main was not having any class. So, and then we were using this for main. This where is it? We were using this one as main. Okay, so let's just do it this way. Main. So this was the styling that we were using for our main initially. And why? Was because our main, okay, I think I give our main 80 and then container 100, which was wrong from the first class. I think I must have missed that. So it was wrong. This is our main. From here like this to here is our main. And then our main should take 100%. While what is inside, which is the container, should take 80% of that main. So that was the first thing I did, to change this main to 100 and then change the container to 80. Since it is our container that will be taking the 80%. Okay. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to change the header to a display, sorry, a position of fixed. Initially, before we change it, let me go to the header. Okay, so here we have margin. Okay. All right. Initially, our header will disappear if you are scrolling like this. You can see I try to scroll and then my header disappears, right? Okay, even then my main also was 91, not 100. My main also was 91. Why was my main 91? Is because we believe that initially this one is taking 9 view heights. The header already is taking 9 view heights. That's by default, because currently we just calculated just normal calculation, and then our main is now taking 9 minus 100, because from here to here is 100 view height. Like the full height of the screen is 100 view height, right? Since our header is now taking 9, then the main is going to take 91. Okay, but we now realize that other containers like this one, is now taking from here to here. Like this one is not sharing the height with any other person. It's taking the whole 100%, the whole 100 view height. So we needed to make the same thing so that we don't want to be fixing ourselves every time. We needed to make the same thing applicable to this guy to be applicable to this guy. So we want to change the height to 100 view height, right? But then still, that's even aside. Normally, when you visit a website and then you are scrolling, the header is not supposed to like scroll out of the screen. It's supposed to like remain on the screen so that maybe when you get to footer, a user scroll down to footer, and then the person wants to like change navigate to another page, maybe about us or services. You don't expect the user to first of all scroll up before they can now get to like at the header, and then before they can now navigate. So for that reason, we need to make our header to remain on the screen. Even when we are scrolling our screen, we want it to remain, not disappear on the screen. So, and for us to be able to achieve that, we use position or fixed. And how position fixed works is it's going to fix this particular item on the screen, but it will not contain any space, which means that if we apply position fixed to this our header, then we are supposed to, now this one is now going to like jump under the header a little bit. This our main. Okay, let's see. Let's just see that. Let me give this background color. Right. Then I think I like to just show. Now we are giving this one a fixed. Now let's save it, and then let's see what we have. See, already now this guy header is now having a position of fixed, which I said earlier that it is not containing any space. A position fixed will allow other items to stay either below it or above it. Do you understand? Now, this guy is now a fixed, and then this our main is now taking the height. Initial height that we said this header was taking, which is 9. Now it's not taking it anymore. Now the header is now taking that height with his own. So, but we don't want the main. Sorry, yeah, the main is now taking the height. So now we don't want the main to have small space like this under. We want the main to fill the screen. Okay, since this Finsweet header now is not taking any space, that's why we had to like increase the height of the main to 100. Now let's do that. Let's go to main and then increase it to 100. Now let's save and then see what we have. Now our main is containing the screen. It's like it's taking the whole screen. Because why do we have to do it that way? It's because our Finsweet header is not taking any space anymore. But as soon as we, let's try it, as soon as we uncomment, or as soon as we comment the fixed again, let's say we remove the fix and then we save it, it's going to be taking that 9 height again. See, it's now taking that 9 height again. So this is my own space. And then right then, if we now scroll, but now we don't want this scroll to happen. Okay, we don't want the scroll to happen. That's why we have to like give our main word a 91 view height. So, but then as soon as we change, we give this a fixed, then right, it's now taking the old, that means the header now is now allowing other items to take its own position because it's not now taking any position. Right, so that's what we did. And then for us to be able to centralize this, because as it is right now, it is fixed, and fixed will always just, it does not really want to take space. So it's now shifting it to the left. So we need to like centralize it to the center. How do we do that? We have top, left, right, and bottom. But in this case, what we needed is the left so that we can push this guy to this place. Okay. And then we already know that our container is taking 80%. Okay? Container is taking 80%, which means the right is 10 and then the left is 10. Right here is 10% and then left here is 10%. So what do we need to do to move this one to the center? Is just to give your left 10%. Just call the left. Okay, sorry. Where is it right? Is it right? Should be left. Let me save it first. Okay, well, it works fine still. Let me try the left. I expect it to be left. Left. Let me try if left will work. Okay, well, I expect it to be left. It should be left. Why right works, I don't really understand. But then left, it should be left because we are trying to like shift the header from the left side, that we are pushing it by 10%. That's just like pushing it by 10%. I want to believe why the right work was because that 10% will drag it to itself by 10%. So since this one is 10% and this one is 10%, then it's going to work fine. So that's how we were able to achieve our header being at the center of the screen. Now, because the header is not taking any space, and then the header is a position of fixed, if we now scroll, our items is going to be scrolling under the header or below the or above the header. The header is going to remain on the screen forever because it is position of fixed. So now let's remove the color. Let's remove the color. Yeah. Remove the color and save. Okay, but if you notice that when I'm scrolling, let me try and do this. Where is this? Where is this? I'm trying to look for a way to make it longer so that you can see the scroll. Let me increase this to 200. Just to see the scroll. So now if I scroll like this, as you can see the scrolling, the image is covering my Finsweet. And at the same time, because the Finsweet does not have, the header does not have a background, it's not making the whole display look very weird. Like it's making the whole display look very weird, right? But I don't want it that way. So what do I need to do? Because, okay, that means I need a background color of white since it is white that we were using initially. So I will just call my header and give it a background color of white. That's number one. And then to avoid the image jumping over or scrolling over or overlapping the header, then we have to give our header a Z index of something higher than this one. By default, images will have a Z index of, let's say, 10, 10. Z index is a property, a CSS property that allows you to arrange, just like if you're working with Word, if you're working with like Microsoft Word, layers. What they call layers in Microsoft Word is, I think, take to bottom or take to top. All of those arrangement of layers in Microsoft Word is the same thing that the Z index does. So it allows you to decide which one do you want on top and which one do you want below. So in this case, we want our header to be on top of every other thing. So we'll now go to our header. First thing first, give it width, background color of white. So here we go to this place, BG white, and then we give it Z index of 50. Although in some cases, if you don't want to like fall victim or you don't want anything in this life to go above, to stay above your header, you can even decide to make it 1000. Save it 1000. That means no matter how much your Z index wants to be, then you only if you have a Z index that is more than 1000, and that is very, very difficult. So now if you now scroll now, you can see that our header is now above every other item. So if you're scrolling now, it's going to be scrolling under the header. And then with the help of the background color white, we can now see that, okay, I think everything is now looking really nice. Everything is looking really nice. Any question before we move to the next one? Any question? Okay, no question. So yeah, that's that about that. Let's try something. Let me see if I can wrap this header also in a container. But that one, you guys don't need to see that one. But I want to use container. Okay, paste it here. Let me save it. I have a reason for that. Now let me copy this. Copy everything now. Give width 100%. Give background color white. Then give Z index 1000. Then give position fixed. Okay. Now let's go to our header dot container. Because this one is having a different styling, so that's why I had to call it differently. So space between item center, margin auto. Okay. I'm coming. I'm just trying to see something done here. Okay. I don't need this padding. I don't need this margin auto. Or let's see. Okay. Why is it taking the other color? What? Are you serious? I'm coming. I'm coming. header.container. There shouldn't be any color.
There is a color in your container that you styled.
Yeah. Yeah, but then this is a container inside the header. Let's try something. Let me try something. I can either change the name of the container, or I'm looking for a way to just restrict it to only this one, header. So let me say this. And then let me book it this way. Hash container. Okay, still applying to everything. Fine, that means I'll have to change the name. Let's say header container.
Now bring your color to where you have container. Change the color from this style, yes.
The color
Yes.
from
Yes, from header where you have background color, bring it to where you have container, yes.
now also. Okay, let's see. Okay. What happened? Okay, I think I've changed it. Sorry. Okay. All right. We have gurus here. Mad. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. All right. So what I actually did there, I think I will explain to you guys when we are moving forward. There's something I noticed while I was running the previous code. So that's just what I decided to just fix it. So let me put a pad in here. Or no, a pad in here. Padding, I just need top and bottom. Let's say 5 pixels, then 0. Save. That's small. 10. Okay, this is better. All right. So I will explain what I did just now. I'll explain it later. So I just want us to see. Now let me change this one to 100. Okay. Now we have our styling. We have our header as fixed, so that when you scroll, when a user is scrolling on the screen on your page, then the header will remain the way it is forever. It's not going to leave the screen. So now let's talk about the container. Already we've actually made our container a global variable. That's why it was affecting this our header before. All right. So then until we now decided to change the color, and then it's not working fine. So now let's see what we can do about this. Let me copy it, and then I will now go to variable. I'll say, let me comment it, global styling. Global styling, because it's inside main and it's making it look as if it's only for main. But then I want it to be inside global styling. Global styling. All right. So now our container is global, which means this same styling that we give to our container, if you apply it to another place, for example, this place, where is it? Let me close this header. If you apply it to another place, which is this place, then it's going to give us the same styling that we want inside, the same styling that we have inside our initial container. So you just have to okay, I think my next section now, I'll be using a container that is the same thing that I've been using before. Just pass your container as a class inside it, and the same styling that you have is going to affect the new container that you just created. So, but then the parent also, if you notice from our design, we have this parent, which is the main. We call the main the parent, okay? The parent is having a width of 100%. Then it's having a display of flex, and then justify center, item center. This is it. If you check the main styling, we have 100 view height, width 100%, display flex, item center, content center. So that same styling, that same parent is also this one also. The same parent, the same thing that is happening here is the same thing that is happening here. That same thing is what is happening here. So, but for that reason, I don't want to be having, okay, because I styled main, I will now go about and style section again, and then I will now go again and style, as in, it's just like me repeating the same thing and same thing and same thing every time. Okay, So, but then for that case, I will now change this one. I can just copy it like this, since I want to make it a global styling also, right? I will now copy it, then paste it here. Okay. So, but then I don't want to use main, because if I should use main, that means this thing is going to affect only the main. So that's why I had to like change the name to something else. So we call it parent flex. Parent flex. So that when I call this parent flex on all of the parents, I don't have to call it, it doesn't have to like apply to only main alone. I want to apply to every parent that I need it to apply to. Right? That's why, okay, we now change the main to parent flex, and then we'll now go back to our HTML and call, let me remove this first, the same class. First thing first, because I need that parent flex to actually affect the main also. So I'll give this a class and call parent flex here, parent flex. So now that styling is going to affect the main. The same styling that affect the main will now affect the section for car servicing. The same styling that affects car servicing will now affect the section for get a quote, because I call the parent flex in all of the three. And the same styling, which is the display flex, item center, content center, height, view height, 100 view height, and width 100%, is going to be the same thing that will apply to all of it. Now let's see what we have. Let's save. And then see what we have here. Finsweet. Okay, now as you can see, this is the first parent, and this is the container inside the parent. This is the second parent, this is the container inside the parent, and this is the third parent, this is the container inside the parent. It's as simple as that. If you check, we have one parent flex, two parent flex, and three parent flex, which is the main, the car servicing, and then the get a quote. So now it actually makes our styling very easy. If I see any other thing somewhere again, that actually have the same design as those ones, which I don't know if we still have any other one. I think this one is, but this one is not more like that. No. This particular one, this one also, which is our footer. Now let's see. Let's just do that footer. Let's do that footer. Let's say we have a tag for footer also. So then I will now call, I can just say dot container, since I want a container inside my footer. Then here I will now say, let me just say class parent flex. Parent flex. You see that the same styling that we have, we don't have to like write that flex, that styling again and again and again and again. Just keep calling the parent flex inside everything that you want to use it, and keep calling the container inside everything that you want to use. Now let's save it and see what we have now. Let's allow it to load, finish. Okay, so we have 4. The first one, which is the main, the second one, which is the servicing, the third one, which is the code, and then the last one, which is the footer. So it's very easy. It just makes all of the code writing as easy as it should be. But one difference is that we have in all of this thing is that our footer is having a background color of black, while our this one is white, fine. This one is having a background color of, let's say, I don't know, ash or something. So how do we make that one possible? And we don't want to like remove, we don't want to style everything different. We don't want to remove the parent flex. So we can do that by adding another class into our class. We can have about 10 classes inside this place, 10 different classes. You can have it there, okay? So we either call ID and give it that background color, or we add another class to this place. But I would prefer that we add another class so that we are going to understand that, okay, you can have multiple classes inside a single class. So let's try that. Let's say car service background, car service BG, and also footer BG. Footer BG. Okay, so now let's go and style the car service BG and footer BG. Those ones are not global, so they're going to be inside their own styling. This is car servicing. So let's say car service BG. We'll now take this background. So let's save that one first. Now also our footer styling. We now say dot footer BG. Then we'll now take background color of black. Save. Now let's see what we have now. Fine. See, now this is our footer, car servicing. The first one is the main, which is white. The second one is car servicing, which is this color. The third one is the get a quote, which is also white. And then the last one is the footer, which is black. So it's as simple. Although, trust me, guys, trust me, if you find it comfortable writing this code repeatedly, there's nothing, it is your choice. But best practice will always say, do not repeat yourself. That's just how you're supposed to like work. Okay. DRY, don't repeat yourself. If you realize that this particular item, this particular styling, I'm using it here, and I'm using it here, and I'm using it here again. Why do I need to like write it repeatedly since I'm writing the same thing? I can easily just make it a global styling, just the way I made these ones. I can easily make it a global styling, right? And then I will just give it a unique name so that I can now pass this name to everything. And try as much as possible not to pass a name that will look like for one. It doesn't make sense me using this one now, main flex. Now, if anybody should come to your code and read this thing, they will be like, okay, I think this thing is for me. So that's limiting your styling. Although it's going to work for everything because you're going to pass main flex to everything. But then it does not make any sense because this thing is not just for me. This particular styling can be for me, can be for section, and can be for footer. So that's why we need to use a unique name, which is the parent, since everything is what? It's parent. Any question? Any question? Sammy, I believe you understand now, and also I'm forgetting what is that question. George and Sammy, are we together? Is anybody confused? Sammy, yourself.
I understand it all.
All right, thank
Understand.
you. Sammy, are you okay too?
Yeah. I'm okay.
Okay. It's actually a lot. It's actually a lot to take in, but then that is why we are here. We are here for code formatting and structure. Okay. And I would like it. It actually bothers me seeing one type of styling, this particular type of styling, now being written 5 or 6 or 7 times. It bothers me a lot. So in some cases, maybe when we get to that place, we'll talk about it. When you have 3 pages and you realize that, okay, the same container that I have in this page is the same thing that I have here. So it's still the same container that I have in my service page. I can now create a global style. I can create a global.css, right? Instead of having my global style in here, I can now have a global.css so that anything that is common in all my pages, I will put it inside that place, and I can call all of this styling at the same time. But we are going to explain that when we get to that level. But for now, let's focus on this. Now our container is a global styling, and our parent is also a global styling. So what we need to do now is, okay, let's remove the background color, or let's leave it there for now. Since we are done with that, now let's go to this place, and then we'll now start doing our weight 50%, weight 50%, or all of those 50% that we want to do. Okay. So, and at the same time, still, there are still ways in which we can make some of those things a global styling. Let's just try. So here I can come to my HTML, and then I'll say this place. I'll say inside the container I have left. Okay. I have left and I have right. Right. Left and right. And mostly, as you guys know already, our left and our right has always been what? 50%, 50%, or 45%, 45%. Let me see what we have from the first one. Let's see what we have from the first one. Left 50, 50. Right. Let me see. Where's the right? Let me see. Right. Okay. So it has always been 50%, 50%. So in that case, we can at the same time have another global styling for this left and the right. You can have a global styling for the left and the right, but I would not advise that because, yeah, I would not advise that because look, if you check this one now, this left is actually an image. right? Sorry, the right is an image, while this one is a form. So that's just the only issue. But then at the same time, we can still do it. You can still do it somehow and add a different class to it. But let's leave it. Let's leave it. Let's leave it. Okay, so we can now start styling our left and our right. But if we like make that one also a global styling, I say. Let's make it a global styling. This is left, 50, 100, display flex, text direction column, and then justify content center. Same thing here, the same thing here, the same thing here. So why are we not making it global? So this one is 100, 100, 100. So the only thing that will be different with this one is that we pass a different class to this one. Let's see what we can do. Let's do it. Left, dot left, then we copy this one, copy it and paste it inside, and let's comment this out. Okay, so let's do for right also, dot right. Okay, so let's move here. Where is it? Okay. That's the problem. That's the problem. Okay, this is what we are going to do. We use this one like this. Just put it inside your right. Okay, and then copy small thing from your left. Copy this. Put it inside your right also. Okay, so that we can now add. Let's move this. We don't need it anymore here because we already have it in our right. Okay, and then let me just comment it. Now let's save it. So what do we need to do now is the div that we have our right image. We have to add right to it so that that div can take both this styling and then the styling of right image. So that that div can now take two styling, everything that is inside our right image and everything that is inside our right. And then at the same time, our left will also take styling for left. Now let's see this one. Where's our main? Okay, the left will now be left. Okay, let's just add it left. And then the right will now be right. Okay, so although we don't need this left text anymore, we've already removed it. Let me just leave it there, it doesn't affect it. So now let's save it and see. Let's give it background color. So we'll see what we are doing. Background color in green. And then this one, background color, this key. Let's save and see if what we did is going to be fine. See, as in this whole thing is just looking so easy. Now I have my left and my right. Okay, my right for the first one, which include image, is taking two styling, the right image styling and the right styling itself. Why do I need to do it that way? Because I want the right to be a global styling, and then the same thing that I want here is what I want here, and the same thing is what I want here. Although I've not applied left and right to this one, that's why it is showing like this. Okay, so but this one is having an image also. So because it's having an image, we have to add another styling to it. Plus the right, we now added. If you check the HTML, we have inside that image, we have both right image and then the right itself. And the right image is the styling that includes the image, because we cannot include image inside the right. The right is a global styling, so we cannot include image inside it. What we only did was to give it flex column, display, all of those things, and then width 50%. We did the same thing for our left by giving it left width 50%, and also where is it? Okay, left 50%, height 100, display flex, and all of those things. So now what do I need to do if I need to use left and right? It's very easy. Other ones that does not have it, like this one that does not have it, I'll just have to pass it to it. So as easy as that. Now this one, I'll just say dot left and then dot right, dot right. So like, let's save it. You just see that styling will just apply to it. Like very easy, like as easy as that. You don't have to like call, okay, I will now want to call, okay, get code section dot container dot left again. That's like a very, very long journey. Since you already have the same styling for left and right, the same thing is going to be applying to everything at the same time. Now I need it for my footer also inside the container. Ensure that it's inside the container. Then paste it and then save it. Then the same thing we apply to the footer. You can see how easy the whole stuff is just looking. So that's just the idea of global styling, and try not to repeat yourself. As a developer, you try as much as possible to make the whole coding stuff easy. Just look for a way that, how can I make this thing easier? How can I make it simpler? That's just the whole idea of development, right? The way to solve problems and make it easier for the next person that will be solving it to be able to solve it properly, or for the person that will be reading or going through my code to be able to understand it easily. So, and that for that reason, they come about the idea of componentizing and making styles global, so that when you apply this particular styling to a variable or a tag or an element, the styling that you have from the first one is going to like affect the next one and the next one and the next one. So when you want to style this particular one differently, you only have to like declare, if you realize that, okay, this particular one is different, like the one we have in the middle now, like this one is a bit different. So we can just, we can just use a different styling for this one. So I could say, I could just say, let me say, where is that? I think it's after, before. Okay, it should be here. So section, and then I will have dot container. Okay, I think the container will still work for this. But then in that case, I will not have two div inside the container, because this one is just a single div. If you see, this one is this one is this, all right? But then this one is a single div. So that's just the only difference. Well, let me check how my styling, my container styling is. 80 display flex, background color. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. With my flex, if I should flex this container, it doesn't affect this one since it's just one. If you flex a container and what is inside the container is like having a width of 100%, then it's not going to affect it in any way. So let's save this. Let's save it. Let me save this new one that I have now. ID should be, what is that? What we offer. Okay, what we offer. Don't forget to add the class. That class should be parent flex. Now let's save it and then see. Okay, I think it's loading. Okay, so this is it. This is the new one that we just added. That one is not having the left and the right, but it's also having a container. The only thing that will be different in this one is that the div inside of it is going to be just one, right? And then the div will now start making all our styling inside that div, just like this. I can say dot content, okay, and I'll say h1. That will be, no, that should be p, or say h6. Say what we offer. All right, and then this one will now be h1. Then we offer full service auto repair and maintenance. We offer full auto, I don't remember, auto repair service and maintenance. So this one can now take, I think this particular content is having a padding up and down, or no. Let me save it first. Let's see what we have. Okay. So then I can say text center. Text center. Oh, sorry. Voila. They use tailwind. Content. I'll call the content. This is what we offer. Sorry, I made a mistake there. What we offer, and then the content. What we offer. what we offer dot content text align center save. Okay, so we give it width of 100%, width 100%. Fine. So I think we are good. Now you can continue with your styling inside this one. So this left and right has nothing to do with this one. So as you can see now, the whole idea of not repeating ourselves is still working. We don't want to repeat ourselves. So the same thing that we passed for this one, let me remove that background color first. So at least we see it nicely. Background color. Okay, save it. And then, yeah, hey, this is what we have. This is the same thing as what we have here. Okay, this one is also having a background color or something. I think the background color is more like this one, but it's a little bit, let me copy it. Copy it. ColorZilla. Pick from page. Pick this one. Okay. So I will just use this one directly. Let me use my what we offer directly. What we offer as what we offer. Then background color. Paste this. Why is this not copying? Copy now. What are you doing? Almost no copy. Okay, let me bring it out. This is it. Okay, now let's save, and see. Yeah. Okay, so we are good. Then I can do the next one, which is this. I believe we can do this one ourselves, even if I don't think I want to go there today, but we can still do this thing ourselves. So inside it, let me try it. Let me try it for us. Index, after the what we offer, it's still inside our content. So I'll call it dot flex, or I can use grid. Now let me use flex. So I'll say card. Let me just call this one card. So I'll say what we offer card. That's what I'll call it. Dot what we offer cards. Okay. So here we can now have how many cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 card. So we say dot card. The card is also having the same styling. So you don't have to like say card 1, card 2, and all this. They are the same styling. Just call everything card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So now let's call our what we offer cards. So here we have what we offer content, and then the card dot what we offer cards. Cards, that's the first one. Then the second one is the card itself. What we offer cards. Okay, this will have display flex. Okay, we have yeah, flex wrap. Flex wrap. We've not talked about this one yet, Sha, but let's talk about it. We have a gap. Let's give gap of 5 pixels. Okay, and then we have each of it, right? Let's say each of the container will now take background color white. All right, and then they will take height. Let's just assume we are giving height of 100 pixel, and then width of 100 pixel also. So we can now save. So now let's see what we have after saving. We'll explain, no, please don't get lost. Let's just see what we have. Okay, we don't have anything new. Where is it? I'm coming. You submit a mistake. You did a mistake. Card. Here is it. Card, not cards. All right. So now we have our what we offer. We offer blah blah blah, all of this, and then we have the cards here. So, but then I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be bigger. It should be bigger than what we had now. This is just 8, and then it's small. So let's make it bigger. Let's make it 200, 200. All right. So how were we able to achieve this thing coming down? That's the help of this our flex wrap. Let me remove it and see what we have. See, now this thing is taking normally, but with the because we gave it 100, 200 width and 200 height. You can see that this thing is actually is respecting the 100, 200 height, but then it's not respecting the 200 width because it has to be a flex, and flex means everything should be on a row. So automatically the div itself is now like trying its best to actually give space for other items, which we don't want it that way. We want it to, okay, when you get to this place, when you've actually like spread to that place, I want you to wrap. That means if you're using Google Docs or maybe Microsoft Word, there's something they call wrap, which allows content or items to jump to the next line. So that's what we did the same way. Flex wrap. That means, okay, when you get to the last thing, if instead of you squeezing yourself to actually give space for other content, just wrap yourself to the next line. So that's what this one does. Flex wrap, now wrap. So it's now going to wrap it to the next line. As you can see, very easy. But then these things, I don't see them. They are not at the center. They are looking somehow by the left. So let's just say justify center space, save. All right, so we now have it at the center. As easy as that. This life is very easy. You just have to like, okay, I think looking at this design now, how can I achieve this thing? From what I said, we created a section, we created a global styling for the parents, which is this one, okay? And then we now created a container. That container is now the center of the section. All right, now all your styling, initially, the center will actually, you always have a flex. And then flex will not work if you don't have two things. If it is only one that you have and you give that one 100%, then that 100% will take the whole flex. But then the fact that we gave 50% for the left and 50% for the right, that means our flex is going to work. It's going to work. But in this case, we will not see the sign of the flex. So that's why I just had to like do this styling so that we can see how we can achieve other things using our global styling. I will even advise that if you notice that, okay, my card is a global card, maybe I'll have to use it somewhere else. Let's check the styling. Let's check the design. Okay, I think it's just one. So we won't be, this one is a card also, but then it's bigger. So it's just one. So we don't have to like pick it a global. But if you realize that, okay, in some other places, I think this card is also being used, then it is best for us to do what? To make this card a global styling so that when I'm calling the card somewhere else, I can easily, right? I can easily just do what? Just use this card styling to the same thing instead of me writing the same styling all over and over and over and over again. So we are going to stop here for today. I want you guys to like see how you can style all of this one yourself. See how you can try as much as possible. Not just stop where we stopped. Don't just stop here, but try as much as possible to continue yourself. Continue. This one is easy. Just a form and then a button. We've done it before. Then this one is also easy. While this one, looking at it, most of us may be confused, right? But then we shouldn't be confused because here we have this one is a child, this one is a child. These two, they are a child. And then the two are inside a parent, okay? A child inside a parent. Am I clear? So now we will now flex that parent. Let's do it sharp before. I think we have like 10 minutes. Let's do it sharp. Let's go. Where do we have that one? That's servicing section. Yes. So the first thing, let's bring our H1. Let me tell you guys something again. See this H1. If you can see the H1, this one, and this one, and this one, it's like they have the same styling. That's what I'm saying. It's like they have the same styling. So what will it stop me to give everything a global style? And then I will now keep calling that style every time I need to use it. What will it stop me? Nothing. But that one is left for you guys to do. So you can just say, okay, your H1, style it somewhere inside your global H1, and then you now give it maybe size of this, and then font bold, and then when you call the H1 here, you don't have to like give the same styling again. The same styling is going to apply to it automatically. But then we'll do that one. You guys can do that one yourself. We are taking car services seriously. We are taking car services seriously. Okay. Servicing. This is not where I want to go. This is with my major concern. So now under it, we have, say we have flex color. Okay, we can just have a normal div. Just have a normal div. Okay. Then inside that div, we now have 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So we have, you can say the first one, you can say 1. Let's just put it that way. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and then what's 3? Okay, so our 1, let's focus on the 1 first. Remember, the same styling we are giving to the 1 is what we are going to give to the 2 and to the 3. So the 1, 2, 3 I use initially just for me to see the differences. But then after I'm done with the styling for the 1, I will now copy that in. I will use the same variable that I use. So I'll just say, what can I call it? What can I call it? What can I call this thing? I want to use the same variable to start this theory. Taking class seriously. Let me just say service left, just as an instance. So I will now style this one, copy it, come here. I'll put it inside my global. Okay, here's the global. All right. Yeah. Dot global. So I'll now style it as, okay, the first one is what? Flex, this one and this one. So let me flex it, display flex. All right. I don't need justify content between, but I need align item, because if you can see this one, the align item is going to keep it at the top of the div. Let's give our div a background color first. Background color red. So now let's put the content left and the right. The left and the right. But trust me, try as much as possible, because we have our left somewhere. So that left may want to be like doing rubbish with this guy. So let's just find a way to make it unique. Okay. So make it unique. Inside the first one, we say .1 left, or let's say service left. My name is service left. And then service left right. So this one is, the left is going to be an icon, but then I don't have time for that icon. And let's just represent it. Let's just say 56. And then this one will now be conveniency and then a P. So inside this place, we are going to have H5 or H4. We call it convenient services. Convenient services. And then we're going to have P under it. P, which will be this one. Let me just copy this text. All right, so now let's save it. And then we already give our servicing left a div, sorry, a display of flex, which will take this one to stay beside this one, okay? So now we are not going to give it item start instead of item center. Let me save it, let me save this. Let's see what we have now. Okay, so as you can see, this is the icon and this is the right. So what do I need now is just, I think I just need small space. I'll just give it a gap. Where is it? I just give it a row gap of let me say 10 pixel, save, and then let's see. No, it's not working. Display flex, column gap. Remove this. Okay, so now we have this beside this. So on your own, you can choose to now like look for the icon and then give it a background and all of those things. But then as you can see, we have our div, our first div, which is the icon div, and then we have this one, which is the right, which is the text div. Okay, so now I just need to apply the same thing for other guys. I don't have a div for them yet. I can just do that. Let me copy. I'll just say service left. The same thing is what I will use for the three of them. Service left, and then service left. So I can just copy this div, copy this like this. No, yeah. Paste it here, and then this one also. Paste it here. So we can just change what is there. Let's make this one 65, and then make this one 89. Now let's save. Let's save one left, this, and this. Okay, as simple as that. Now I have this, and this. That styling is, well, this thing is really interesting. If you know how to use it very well, I swear to God, your code is going to be very faster. You write your code faster, and you achieve problems very faster because you don't have to be repeating yourself. Just make one thing global and then keep doing it again and again. Just copy that global and use it anywhere you want to use it. That's just the best thing. And then here, I think I need margin bottom. Let me just apply margin bottom for this. Margin bottom, 15 pixel. Now let's save it, and then, yeah, so we are good to go. Good to go, good to go, good to go. Should I use margin bottom, margin top? Stop. Or instead of that, let me focus on this. Where is it? We are taking that's container left. We're taking car seriously. Isn't it? Left H1. Car servicing section H1. I need to focus on that guy. Or let me just do it once and for all. Let me make H1 a global. H1. So I'll just say font size 40 pixel. Then margin bottom 20 pixel. So away too big. 35. Okay, so we are good. So the same thing here. Oh my God, the way this thing can actually make you really sweet. Just feel like, wow, I don't even have to do plenty things. Just literally 2 things and then I'll achieve what I need to achieve. So then as you can see now, we've been able to achieve this second part, this left, as easy as that. No stress, nothing. And well, let's just end it today. I believe we've been able to like get where I'm actually coming from and what I'm actually trying to pass to you guys, that if you have any place that you see that this particular styling is the same thing, okay, so don't stress yourself by styling it differently or multiple times. If you see that, okay, this same styling that I use, same thing that I use it, just copy it and paste it inside your global styling, and then use that thing. You can change it, give it like a unique name, right? Sorry, give it like a unique name so that it's not going to be like limited to one particular part of your page. So you can use it anywhere you want to, as far as the styling and the design of that particular content is the same thing. So thank you very much. I will actually encourage us to try as much as possible to go up, and you can even try and restructure your code. If you have some that you've created yourself before, try as much as possible to look at it and then restructure it, make it a global style, and then your code is going to scatter, trust me, but it's part of learning. If it scatter, you debug, you see, you look for where the problem is, why is this one not working again? Just because I made this, that's very normal. That's what makes us a developer. Okay, it's very normal. So you can always just try as much as possible to rearrange, restructure your code, and make. I need to see the next submission. Although we are not submitting anything, but the next time we are going to have a task, and then we are going to submit. I want to see us using all this global. I don't want to see repetition of styles. If you use this style here and you do the same thing again, fine, it's your own. I won't give you less score, or I won't grade you lower. But definitely, it's just I want you guys to know how to write a better code and not to repeat yourself, and to be able to like write code faster. When you move to React, you move to Vue.js or Angular, then you understand what I'm trying to say better, because then you work more of components where, okay, this thing is a component, I'm using it in my landing page, my about page. I don't want to like write the copy code. I will just write it somewhere, and then I will use that, but I will use the variable. The title, or the variable that I assigned to that particular component. I'll use it anywhere I want it. So thank you very much. Let's take questions now. If there's any question, I will want to take that. And then if there's no question, is there any question, any concern, any part that is missing? Okay, David Dose, please unmute yourself and ask a question.
Okay. Actually, I've been trying to get these icons here on Font Awesome, but I think I couldn't get it. So I don't know what to do. If like to get this exact icon for this, we are taking care seriously, servicing seriously. So I don't know what to do.
What do you call this? This one is tools. Come let me see if I can look for it. It's sometimes very difficult to look for icon. I swear, it's really difficult. Awesome. Because you don't know the name of that particular icon, and there's no way you. Only if you have been using it before. That's
like I've searched for it like different with different names. I normally see them like differently.
Wow.
Not in the same, not in that same structure, but
okay. And although you don't have to like fine, I understand what you're trying to do. Maybe you're looking for this exact one. It's not. It's possible that you can't get this exact one. If you get this thing that looks like a tool, that thing that looks like a tire, if you get only that one without
that's actually a gear.
Yeah,
like
if
for a
you
car.
get the gear only without the tool inside, then you can use it. It's fine. If you don't want to
Okay.
copy, if you don't want to like export the image, right? You can easily just use that gear. And this one you can use a user. You can use a user. With this one, you can get a user or profile or person. If you search for person, user, or profile, you'll be able to get this one. And then this one, I think you can get it using Bitcoin. If you search for Bitcoin dollar, you
Or
get
currency.
or currency very much. So it's just sometimes you see some icon, you be like, oh, like this one now. What will you search for in this one? What will you search for? So in this case, you may just have to like one thing about designers, they will design finish. They won't even know if it's possible or not. They will just design.
Exactly.
they don't really care. So when it's all now that will not start looking for. Now, this one now, at some point, when I did this thing last year, I actually had to like I used a different icon because I think I looked for this icon, I could not see it. Right. I was able to see other ones. So I look for this particular one, I could not see it. I have to use a different icon. As far as what I want to achieve, I've been able to achieve. And it looks like an engine. So the main thing is just find an icon that looks like an engine. So if in case you look for some icons and you can't find it, just look for something that looks so similar to that one and you're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very much. So other questions? Well, this whole class is not well, it's actually very important. It's very, very important. Right. But then I didn't expect us to not get everything I've just explained, because I see most of us are already used to it already. I see some of us writing the code and not putting ourselves. So, but then it's very important, very, very essential for us to know that when you're writing a code, you have to understand the idea or the concept, or you have to master the concept of DRY. DRY. Do not repeat yourself. So thank you very much. Since there's no other question and there's no Akibobola on the call. All right. So if you have any other thing you have concerns with that you don't want to share with us here, feel free to drop a message on the group channel, on the community or whichever place. Please, if you have concern, drop it on the channel first. I will read it. That one I'll see it on time. I'll see it on time. Unlike my DM, if you drop a message on the DM and then I have about 40 DMs, right? I mean, it may be very difficult for me to like start looking for your own because I don't even know that you have a concern like this. I'll have to like attend to the questions one after the other. So that will take a while. But then if you drop it on the channel, I will just scroll down and then I'll see, okay, this one is something I can fix. So if you have any concern, please feel free to drop it on the group chat and then I will attend to it at my leisure if I can, as soon as I'm available. Just Gospel, unmute yourself.
Sir, please, projects to start coming next week.
Yeah, next week we are going to have a task, a project to work on. Then we'll be well, honestly, it's going to get tougher, although I know you guys are very good, because by the time we move to media query, then it's going to like, God, am I really supposed to be here? But trust me, you have to just calm down and then you get it. Media query is the next thing, and then we'll move to a framework, which is the Bootstrap framework. All of those things tends to be a little bit harder because last day during my class, during my own session, yeah, like I said, we were about 180 something, I can't remember. Okay, but then when we get to this media query and Bootstrap, people we like dropped like half. Like we drop people like opted out because they cannot continue all of these things. So please and please and please, every one of us in this call, we are the leading persons. Like I can say it. Well, I'm expecting to see someone which I did not see, but then everyone in this course, we are very good, and I'm very sure we don't want to like give up. It's going to get tougher. It's going to get really, really challenging. But please and please and please, try as much as possible to reach out to one another. If you see that, oh God, this thing is really giving me a headache and I feel like I want to give up, feel free to reach out to anybody, Ayo or David, if they are available. And please, let's try as much as possible to help ourselves. If you are good, you say, okay, I've been able to fix this thing. Try as much as possible to be available to help someone. It makes you master what you learned and what you know and what you can do. And even as you're teaching, you are still going to learn little things again. You see a little things, okay, I think I don't know this one before, but because I explained this thing, so I was able to do it and I was able to know it. So that it helps a lot. So let's try as much as possible. I don't want anybody to give up, I beg. I can see when we started this class, we were about 70 something. The first class was 70 something. Then the second one, I think 60. Today we had about 40 persons on the call, which I'm not really, really satisfied with. I'm not really happy about it. That means some of us are giving up already, or maybe some persons. Well, if you're not joining the class, you can always go back to the video and view it. But then it's showing that some of us are giving up, which I don't like. Let's try to not give up. Please. I know some of us will not give up. I know Ayo will never give up. That one's like code. Even Sammy is so dedicated. Even if there are a lot of conditions guiding that, but then let's try to possible. So that's that. We meet again next week on Tuesday, and let's prepare our mind that we are going to jump. After that class on Tuesday, we are having a task, and the submission is going to be Thursday. So let's prepare our mind. A task on Tuesday, the submission will be on Thursday. All right. So and then it's going to be a media query. Next week is going to be on media query. If you have time and if you're not doing much, you can go online and search about media query, spending that time Tuesday, so that when I just put us through media query, it's going to get easier for you to understand easily. And then when the task comes, you can easily solve it as soon as possible before the deadline. So, like I said, feel free to drop a message on the channel. Feel free to reach out to me. I dropped my number. I don't know, the last class I dropped my number. Someone said he has few projects that he needs me to like help out on, and like he's confused and he's getting lost. So feel free to reach out to me. I'm gonna be very busy because I'm working here and I'm working for KodeCamp and I have other things, other gigs I'm actually and after this meeting is going to be another meeting, that's just the problem. But as soon as I'm available, I'll always reach out to us and attend to our program. So thank you very much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, boss.
Thank you, sir.